So let's start. I would ask you to arrive in the place where you're sitting, get a comfortable position where you're straight but relaxed. Get the right balance between upright and relaxed, not too slumped, relaxed, and not too straight, not too uptight, but gently present. And become aware of the space where you are at the moment. First of all, the physical, actual space where you're sitting in your home or the place where you are. Feel your feet, feel all the places of your body that touch the ground. Feel your breath, your natural breath. And then become aware of the space, the room that we're in together, this virtual room. That we're sharing in real time, even though two of us are in Germany and the other two are in Hungary. And maybe even the space that we're sharing with those who are going to listen to the replay later. And then we begin first by establishing the absolute bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, by becoming aware that everything that we experience is like the experience in a dream. Just like the internet, seeing each other is dreamlike, it's not really real, but yet we can see each other. We seem to be in one room, and yet we're not. And everything else is like that. It's just everything we see, hear, touch. It's just something that happens in our mind that we take to be real. And then let yourself sink even deeper to the ground of your being, the nature of your mind, unborn awareness. It does not come from anywhere, does not go anywhere, but it's just present every moment fresh and new. It's as though your mind is an ocean and you're letting yourself sink down and down. And the lower you sink, the less waves there are, the less light, the darker and calmer it becomes. Until you come to rest on the ground of your being, where it's totally peaceful. And there can still be thoughts. Doesn't matter, there can still be thoughts, there can still be feelings. But you don't take them too seriously. You don't follow them. You don't chase them. You don't try to get rid of them. And if now you have a thought trying to follow my instructions that You think, now I've arrived, now I know what the ground of being means, and I know I've reached the nature of my mind. Let go of that thought and return to this curious, searching, not knowing. Allow yourself to sink even more deeply, because there is no ground, there is no end. Limitless, timeless. And from this place, we are now in a good place to start the actual practice of Tonglen, of taking and sending. And we will do this by using our breath. And we will reverse the usual way of dealing with pleasant and unpleasant experiences. Normally, when an unpleasant thought or emotion comes along, we resist it, we want to reject it, chase it away. And when there's something positive, pleasant, peaceful state, we want to hold on to it, keep it. Those are the mind poisons of attachment and aversion. It usually has the opposite effect, that everything that is bad becomes even worse, and everything that is good we can't even enjoy while it's there. So now we'll simply reverse this. And we start with ourselves. You start by becoming aware of your own feelings. Feel how you are. Become aware of your thoughts. And if you notice an unpleasant thought, or maybe you remember something unpleasant that happened to you today, or you notice a feeling of fear or insecurity or something that's somewhere hidden below in your subconscious. And you open your heart, let it in, breathe it in. Practice self-compassion. Accept it. Accept this unpleasant feeling as part of yourself. Breathe it all the way in and let it dissolve, because it's dreamlike as everything else. It's not a big deal. And with your next out breath, you're becoming aware of everything positive that is happening in you right now. The feeling of calm, the feeling of joy, the feeling of peace that maybe has developed inside of you because of this exercise we're doing, because of the space we're sharing. So instead of holding on to it and trying to keep it, preserve it, you let it go. You breathe it out. You send it out into the world with the wind, hoping that it will reach people who are more unhappy and more frightened than we are at the moment. And with the next in-breath, you take in maybe a little bit of the suffering of painful or fearful feelings of those around you. Maybe there was an event in your life today where somebody got very angry or afraid, or maybe was making you afraid, maybe was giving you a hard time. And you breathe that in, both the anger and fear of that person and your own resentment. Breathe it in, let it in, open your heart wide. It can't harm you. It can't harm your true essence. And with the next out breath, you send out love, light, understanding, acceptance, peace. Send out the peace that you feel right now, maybe to this person who annoyed you only a few minutes or hours ago. Wish them well. Wish them that they can ease up, that they can also experience this peace that you're feeling right now. And feel how this is actually soothing to yourself. And with the next out breath, send also this feeling of being soothed, being calmed to that person and maybe to other people in your surroundings who are arguing, who are frightened, who maybe feel stuck in the present situation, or maybe afraid of their income, or afraid of getting sick, catching the virus. And breathe out the calm, breathe out the timelessness, breathe out love, compassion, peace. And become aware how your strength and your capacity to take in suffering and become aware of suffering and take it in becomes stronger and stronger. And more people and animals and other beings the scope of your awareness becomes wider. And you can feel compassion for those that you love. Maybe you have elderly parents or grandparents or neighbors who are especially in danger at the moment. You're afraid they might catch the virus and die prematurely. Take in that fear, your own fear, also their fear. And breathe out peace. Breathe out the happiness of the moment, the happiness of life. At this moment, as long as they breathe, as long as you breathe, you're alive. It's very precious. It will end one day, so feel happy of every breath you can take, in and out. And breathe out this happiness to those people you can think of now who are afraid, who are suffering, who are uptight, who are maybe angry. Allow yourself always to enjoy this, to be soothed by it. Not forget yourself, and not be choked by it. If you feel overwhelmed or choked by this exercise, then concentrate more on the peace, on the out breath, and give yourself the compassion. Breathe in your own feelings of this is too much, and give yourself soothing peace, relaxation. Let yourself again sink to the ground of your being where nothing can hurt you. Until you feel ready again to think of others, those that you love, those that you meet every day but you don't particularly care. Maybe your neighbors, maybe you live in a big block of in a house where there's a lot of neighbors, or through the other people in your town, in your city, that you normally just pass in the street or live in the wall to wall next to and don't think about them. Become aware of them. Breathe in their suffering. Breathe out your peace and happiness. And imagine that this clears the atmosphere, the social atmosphere, just as the physical atmosphere is clearing with less traffic and less air traffic. Also the social atmosphere can become more bright, more peaceful, more joyful if we're doing this. You can even imagine the fear and the anger as a dark liquid or dark smoke that you're breathing in from all around you. And that the love and the peace that you feel is like a white light, like a white medicine that can dispel any darkness, transform it into light, into healing. Maybe even breathe in the virus that's in the atmosphere. Breathe it in and imagine that at the moment it enters your body, there are countless white blood cells and antibodies, that your immune system is very strong and very bright, very healthy, and neutralizes them immediately. And that even by entering your body, they make you stronger. These antibodies develop because you are infiltrated by the virus and by other viruses and bacteria. If there's any fear or any resistance, just work with that fear and resistance for a few breaths until you're back in a peaceful state. And now think of the challenges in your life. Think of people that you find difficult. Breathe in their suffering. Breathe in their anger. Open your heart. Don't take it personally. It's nothing to do with you. They probably just have their own reasons to be angry and suffer. Don't take it on, but just send out compassion. Send out peace. Wish them to be happy, to be peaceful. But imagine that this actually happens. Imagine that they calm down, that they become more beautiful, more relaxed, more easy. Maybe even start to laugh and joke. Or maybe even their face changes and they suddenly look at you with love, with understanding. Or with appreciation that you look at them with love, with understanding, with compassion. Do this gently, and only work with your immediate, with this time, with today. Don't think of maybe events of your past, of your childhood. Not right now. You can do later when you're used to this method, but just now, just work with the slight irritations, just with the everyday experiences. And allow your social and psychological antibodies to develop. See how when you're breathing in all the challenges, the things that you normally resist and you're angry about, you just breathe them in, let them in. Don't let them affect you, but let them grow even more compassion in, even more peace, even more equanimity. Now let your mind expand and think of the people, all the people in your country. Also the refugees that are passing through both our countries, or maybe now in a very strange situation, being stuck midway. Of the politicians that are having to make difficult decisions and making very wrong decisions at the moment, being overwhelmed and stupid. Send them love, send them peace, send them wisdom, patience. And let your mind expand even more. Think of other countries, maybe Syria and other countries where there's war as well as corona, or where there's no good health system, where people are suffering a lot more than we are from the economic breakdown, hunger, war, violence. Breathe that in as much as you can. Make sure you're resting in the ground of your being, where you're not separate. Also not separate from the source of limitless compassion, limitless love. Breathe that out. Let it spread. And feel how we are connected, the four of us in this small room. And also all those who will listen to this recording in the future. And all those millions of people in Tibet and in other parts of the world who have done this practice in the past and are doing it in the present. And with each breath, clearing the atmosphere, physically, pollution, but especially mentally and spiritually and socially. Taking in any harm, any anger, any violence, any fear, and breathing out love, compassion, understanding, connection. And at this point, the relative and the absolute bodhicitta merge into one. And you feel that we are not separate. That our Buddha nature, our true being, is one with all beings that are limitless, that fill all space, all multiverses. All suffer, and all have the seed to liberation from suffering inside them. And they all live, and they all die, and they all live again. And we share this wish to live. We share the fear of death. And we share the capacity to love. And to even love those that harm us and harm others. And keep this thought, keep this feeling, and become gently aware of your body again. Become gently aware of the place where you're sitting. When you're ready, open your eyes without letting go of this feeling, this state that you're in at the moment. When you're ready, open your eyes and look at the other 3 people in this room and yourself. It's also nice about this medium that you can see yourself. And maybe if you see any fear or any uncomfortable feelings in the faces of the other person, breathe it in. And if you see shared love, shared peace, breathe it out beyond this room. Yeah, and then this is the end of this meditation. And I said in my invitation that I will choose 1 or 2 slogans each day, each Tuesday. And I already did in the German group an hour before. I chose the phrase, be grateful to everyone and everything. And that has a double meaning. It means being grateful to all the things that are good, like this wonderful space we're sharing at the moment, and having this amazing method, and being in a place that is warm and comfortable and safe, being well, being alive. But even more, it means in this context being grateful of the challenges in life, being grateful of the unpleasant feelings, being grateful of angry people, being grateful of the virus, of this crazy situation now where we don't know, there's all sorts of insecurities. We don't know when we're allowed to see our family and friends again, and to see how that actually, to be grateful of this situation, because it makes us stronger. It challenges us to find ways of meeting online, meeting other ways of coping. Builds our resistance, not just against the virus, but also against mistrust and anger and ill will. And to allow us to share, to spread love, compassion. So really we can be grateful to everything, any moment, be grateful to whatever we're faced with, positive or negative. If it's nice, then enjoy it. If it's not nice, use it, transform it. So then there's nothing wrong. There's nothing to fight against, to battle with. We use everything we experience moment for moment. Breathe it in, breathe it out, let it go.